Alright, after all that fun with the vampires and Saki, trying to get us, we're gonna see if today's episode is a little bit more normal, or what else it has in store for us. We'll find out. During lunch that day, Hirosaka, Alice, and I were gathered in the preparation room, looking tired. Saki wasn't in a bad mood, but Yayoi was in a downright good mood.
なんていうか、昨日の夢はひどかったわね。元凶はさきちゃんだと思います。
I blame her too. Alice raised her hand from where she had her head down on the desk. Say, Alice, why are you here like it's normal?
もう言っても無駄だと思いますけど。
On the table was the bento Saki had brought, and the number of layers of the bento had grown with the recent increase in participants.
いいじゃない。私は楽しかったもの。
Oh yeah, I'm sure you had a lot of fun. You did have complete control over everything after all.
だけどお兄さんを噛んだのは弥生先輩じゃない。あれは稽古の命令があったから仕方なくよ。あれはハスノさんにやれと私も命令されたからです。
It was just a chain of command.
なあに兄さん、先輩じゃなくて私が噛んだ方が良かったの？
I mean, you did say you were going to be the one to bite him. I'm asking why everyone became a vampire in the end.
だってそうしなければ私が痛い目にあって終わるだけでしょ。
Yayoi cut in as she reached for a simmer dish from the
あ
bento.
んな非現実的な夢なら終わっちゃえばこっちに影響しなかったと思うし、どうなっても大丈夫だったんじゃないかしら。
Yeah, it's true that we'd have a huge problem on our hands if everyone were affected by becoming a vampire in a dream.
実はみんな今吸血鬼になってて、昼と夜が逆転してたりして。ほら、吸血鬼って暗いところでもよく見えるらしいじゃない？
Don't say something so scary. I checked the sunlight streaming in from outside. That was the sun, wasn't it? Not the
た
moon.
だ、吸血鬼になった時のものの見え方って昼ともちょっと違ってたのよね。空とか白くて綺麗だったし。
Interesting. As for me, I'd woken up as soon as I'd been bitten, so I couldn't say anything one way or the other. Hirosaka looked like she wanted to say something, but yeah, about Yayoi. He was looking pleased.
先輩、後で少しお話ししたいことがあるんですけど、時間作ってもらえますか？
Suppose I could. I was reminded of when Tetsuya had called me last night. Sure, I guess now wouldn't work?
ええ。できれば、あの夢の部屋の方が都合がいいんですけど。平坂さん、そんなに兄さんの首に噛みつきたかったの？
Why are you not saying anything? Yeah, exactly.
いえ、血を吸うとか関係なくて、確かに先輩の首に甘噛みするのは。
Oh wait, it actually is about that. What?
と思って。
Hirosaka said as she stared at my neck, feeling uneasy. I covered it with my hand.
なるほどなるほど。
Yayoi gave me a suggestive smile, stood up, and came up behind me. Ah! She suddenly bit the back of my neck. Hirosaka pouted, and Saki looked annoyed.
兄さん、なんて声出してるんですか？
I'm making violated noises. That's because... hey, Yayoi, stop. Ow! She wasn't just biting me, she was also licking me. That sensation caused weird sounds to spill out of me.
なんかトール楽しそうだよね。
Alice said in an extremely icy voice.
何よ、稽古にならされたかったの
It's not that, but for some reason the other three besides Yayoi were giving me icy stares. But what did I do? I could say that with sincerity this time.
人前でイチャついておいて何もしてないとは恐れ入ります。
Hirosaka said coldly as she sipped her tea.
嫌なら嫌ってはっきり言っていいのよ。
How about you just don't do it without permission?
そんなこと言えるように今までしつけてきてませんから。
You didn't train me to do anything, what do you mean? Train?
ああ、なるほど。さきちゃんがトールをこうしたのか。
For some reason, Alice gave me a bitter, convinced look. I assure you, I'm not whipped or anything. But no one backed me up.
いや無理だって。トールはあの子とさきちゃんに根っこからしつけられてるから。
The fact that it's Saki, Hirosaka, and Yayoi all nodded brought tears to my eyes. I know, we kind of just dance in the palm of these girls. We do whatever they ask. We don't really get much of a choice. The night after the vampire commotion ended, when I laid down in bed, I ended up in the usual room. This place never changes. War never changes. As always, the door's closed behind me. Everything else about it was normal too. Actually, it's relaxing because it never changes. I never thought a day would come when this place would be so calming for me. Well, once you take Maia out of it, it is a lot better, that's for sure. But you know, Maya's still around somewhere, I'm willing to bet. It looked like no one else was here yet, so I sighed and sat on the usual sofa. Ah, but it really is relaxing. I sprawled out and grabbed a scone within my reach, bringing it to my mouth. Yum. Maybe it would be better if I just waited to truly wake up here rather than trying to wake up on my own. It was peaceful enough here for me to have a stupid thought like that.
ずいぶんのんびりしてますね。
I heard the doorknob turn and Hirosaka entered the room. As soon as she saw me, she gave me a slight sigh. The trick to dealing with dreams is to not get all tensed up. I didn't want to look indecent in front of another person, so I sat up.
昨日はずいぶん抵抗してたみたいですけど。
I was surrendering myself to the flow in a different way. By the way, the dream ended up having some lingering effects after all. One of my friends stank of garlic all day, and another one complained that her stomach hurt. And the neighboring class, a guy who had a girlfriend now had his relationships with other guys go sour. Looked like they knew.
あの夢もなければバレなかったでしょうに。
Yeah, I'm guessing it's the guy that turned into a zombie instead of a vampire. Well, that's true.
難しいところですね。男ならプライドがありますが、友情が邪魔をするっていうのは
What are you talking
経験
about?
と未経験の話です。女の場合は奪い合いにならなければあんなひどい争いは起きないというのに。
And if a dream doesn't make a big impression, then it usually isn't remembered. So the fact that their friendships had gone sour meant that it was important to them. Hirosako, you didn't come here to talk about that, right?
はい。昨日の夢のことです。ちょっとおかしいなと思ったことがあったので。
Okay, what do you mean strange? It didn't feel that different to me than the other events starting with Christmas last year. Hirosaka must have noticed something.
最後、ルートウィッチ先輩が噛まれた時、なんでそのまま吸血鬼になったんですかね。
Ooh, we're bringing this up? Yes. I finally realized.
さっき話してましたよね。経験がある場合に噛まれると意志がなくなる。ホラー映画に出てくるゾンビみたいになってしまうって。けどあの人は普通に意志を持って先輩を噛みました。これってどういう意味ですかね。
There's a few things it could be. Hirosaka stared at me.
本当は先輩って童貞のままなんですか。
I think the fact of the matter is that they're not virgins, right? But they also, like, kind of were thinking about just, like, taking it back, but we said we weren't gonna take it back. I don't know, maybe Saki didn't want us to be having actually done something. So maybe she just imagined her as a vampire and said, I don't know. I'm not a virgin, I did it. I did the whole thing with Yayoi. V cards lost and gone.
となると、あの女、まさか夢だからノーカウントなんて考えてないでしょうね。
Okay, yeah. I was wondering if we're gonna go down that route. I hope not. I felt bad for even considering that possibility. I have to make it up to her later. Hirosaka, if you're thinking about Yayoi like that, does that
は
mean...
い。私は昨日のあの夢は、あの人の夢だったと思ってます。
Interesting. Hirosaka informed me quietly. I didn't want to believe it, but it was certainly a
そも
possibility.
そも楽しみすぎなんですよ、あの人は。しかも、狩人役とか美味しい役柄だったじゃないですか。
Yeah, maybe, but then I'm the same, aren't I?
先輩の夢だった場合、なんでそばに蓮野さんがいないのかという疑問が残りません？
Well, Yayoi is my
それで
girlfriend.
も、ずっと心配してましたよね。
That was true. I was worried about not seeing Saki. If it was my dream, then that probably would have altered things. Alice acted normally. Have you considered the possibility of it being your dream or Saki's?
私や蓮野さんが夢の主なら、先輩の味方をするか、自分で噛みます。
I like how they say that so casually, like implying that all of them are like really into him. And if they had it their way, you know, they would be the one to do something to him. That's true. Even in the dream, the two of them, or rather Hirosaka, had wanted to bite me.
最後、先輩を噛む時のことや、都合のいい主人公的な立場といい、あの人が主導権を握ってるって考えるのが自然じゃないですか。
Yeah, I did find it weird that she was the one who bit us, too. Even if she wasn't in charge, she could still be a main character. But in that case, her own talents at manipulating the dream weighed on my mind. Why'd you only call me to talk about
憶
this?
測に過ぎませんから。それにこれ、人を疑ってるわけですし。
I thought of one other possibility. I was afraid to say it myself, but I see. But there's another possibility. Maybe there's someone else behind the scenes making it look like Yayoi is the
何
culprit.
言ってるんですか。そんなことできるのなんて、先輩の妹さんくらいじゃないですか。まさか。
Yes, it's possible that Maia is still around.
だって、あの時に先輩がきちんと否定したじゃないですか。
Well, I thought I did, but now I'm wondering whether I succeeded. In response to my lack of confidence, Hirosaka gave me an annoyed look.
先輩の周りは厄介な女ばかりが集まりますね。
Don't forget that you're one of them.
その場合は、さすがにもう一度引きずり出さないとならないわけですけど。
Hirosaka ignored
も
my
しもあ
words.
の人、ルートウィッチ先輩が夢の主だった場合には、やってほしいことがあります。
You're not gonna get mad at her for showing us such a crazy
そ
dream?
んな文句言ったところで、あの女が聞くと思ってますか？
Well, no. But talking together is important in understanding each other, isn't it?
なら話し合いで先にこっちを伝えるべきだと思います。
Hirosaka gave me a
夢
serious
を操
look.
作できるのなら、そのままみんなを目覚めさせることはできないんでしょうか？
That's... I couldn't do it. I had tried to wake up, but it had never gone well. I had wished for a dream once before in the past, so maybe entrusting things to nature was the only way I had of escaping from the dream. But Yayoi was different. That's...
できるかもしれないけど、嫌よ。
But I don't want to. Startled, Hirosaka and I turned towards the voice. There, Yayoi was sitting on the sofa and drinking tea with no signs of her having come through the doors. Yayoi, how long have you been there?
いつって言うと難しいけど、二人の話してたことなら大体わかってるわよ。
What if it never was Yayoi? What if it's Maia the whole time? Just kidding.
ずっと
Unless...
そばで聞いてたわけじゃないんですか？そういうわけじゃないんだけどね。来た時には理解してる。夢なんてそんなもんじゃない？
What if that was a big plot twist? Every time we get into a route and we think we're getting together with one of the girls, it's actually Maia. We never actually get to get with one of the other ones. It's just because we're in a dream already, and she just kind of like has them knocked out, and they're not really like dreaming per se. She just kind of takes over them.
分かっているなら話は
That'd
早
be
い
a
で
plot
す。
twist.
このふざけた夢から目を覚ますのが嫌ってどういう意味ですか？
I think Yayoi definitely has reasons to not want to wake up from the dream. I mean, if you really think about it, ultimately dreams are worlds where you can create whatever you want, right? Yayoi returned her cup to its saucer and stood up.
言ったままの意味よ。私は現実に戻りたくないわ。戻らなくていいと思ってる。
What are you talking about? Why are you saying that? You know what happened when I wished for dreams, don't you?
マイヤを亡くして、サキちゃんに助けられて生きてきたトールは幸せだったかしら。
That's...
言っていいことと悪いことがあります。
Hirosaka snapped, moving to stand in front of me. It's true that it wasn't always easy. I gently pushed Hirosaka aside.
先輩、
But I met you, Yayoi, so I don't regret it.
目を覚ましたら、その私と会えなくなるとしたら。
Oh, does this have to do with her, leaving to the UK? Yayoi wore a sad smile like she was forcing herself. Also interesting that both the games I'm playing right now have characters that have to return to their home countries at some point. A lot of parallels. What do you mean?
卒業したら私、イギリスに行かないとならないのよ。
She said it so casually I don't understand the gravity of her words for a moment. Eh?
冗談なんかじゃないみたいですね。ええ、冗談じゃないわ。大学も向こうでもう受けたし、そうじゃなくても親についていくことになるでしょうね。
Why are you suddenly... You never said anything about
それ
that.
は悪かったと思ってるわ。悪かったって、それだけで済ませる気ですか、あなたは。
Before I could, Hirosaka flared up at Yayoi.
その様子からすると、ずっと昔からそのつもりだったんでしょ。だったらどうして先輩と恋人になんてなったんですか？またいつもの悪ふざけですか？それとも 遊びのつもりか何かだったんですか？
Hmm. It's very interesting, like seeing as how we progressed in our relationship with all the girls. You know, especially Yayoi, right? Like, because we're in an actual relationship with her. But just it's talking about our friendship, I guess. It's very interesting to see how Keiko's like kind of, I don't know, look down upon the other girls when they don't really value Toru as much. I feel like she is really trying to show that like she cares about him. Obviously, I think it's a little bit more than just as a friend, but very interesting how against Yayoi she is in that regard. I mean, obviously they don't get along in many regards, but
仕方ないじゃない。まさか私だってこんなにトールのことが好きだなんて思ってなかったんだから。
Hirosaka grabbed Yayoi's collar, but Yayoi brushed her away.
トールのことはもともと嫌いじゃなかったの。それに正直セックスをした時はまだそこまで本気じゃなかった。
I like how it says when we slept together, but then Yuki heard her say sex.
けどね、このまま3月になれば私はトールに簡単に会えなくなるって時に気づいたの。
So by escaping into a dream, you can avoid that problem.
私はトールのことがすごく好きだったって。
What?
いや、まさかこんなに好きだと思わなくて、この間朝日に言われるまで本当に気づいてなかったんだけど。
Yayoi gave a troubled smile, wasn't sure whether to be happy or not.
だから夢を終わらせたくない、そういうんですか？
Hirosaka said, looking unconvinced. She also seemed angry.
そうよ。起こすことはできるんですね。さあ、今の私にはできるかもしれないけど。
Hold on, Yayoi, is that... I suddenly smelled the scent of nightmare flowers. Ah, shit. Here we go again. And that meant my assumption had been correct.
夢を肯定してそれを望んだからこそ夢から目覚めるまでのことができるようになった。
I was just waiting. I knew she was around. We kind of heard her here and there, just for a moment. Maia appeared floating behind Yayoi. The smell was emanating from her.
それって皮肉なものね。望まないようになって初めてできるようになるなんて。まさかルートウィッチ先輩、あなた。ええ、ちょっと前に会ってね。気が合っちゃった。
I knew it.
あら、
No. What do you mean you knew
思っ
it?
てより驚かないのね。
You did know it? I mean, wouldn't you have done something about it if you knew it the whole time? I thought from the beginning that Maia might still be around. Okay, maybe you had an inkling of it, but I don't feel like you certainly acted upon that, or at least you didn't know how to. In the midst of the vampire dream, I caught hints of Maia's sweet scent and the smell of the
どう
forest.
してそんな真似をするんですか？
I don't know, I feel like this kind of buys a little bit into my theory that Maya's getting better at creating dreams that seem realistic. Like, we know we're in a dream, right? But she's making it more convincing. Like, it feels true to the characters. It's not just, like, fake feeling, you know? It's like, obviously we see the flowers in the ground, you know, certain characters are, and maybe certain situations are really out there, but I do feel like the dreams are getting more realistic, even though they're clearly fantasy. How about that?
トールが好きだからよ。
Hirosaka still seemed to be hesitant, but Yayoi looked straight at her. Yayoi put her hand to her
皮
chest.
肉って今言ったけど、ほんとその通りよね。いざ別れないといけないってなってから、初めてトールがどれだけ大事だったか気づくなんて。
Yayoi, but relying on dreams is...
例えばだけど、トールが以前マイヤを夢に求めてサキちゃんに助けられた時、サキちゃんもその夢に一緒にいたら、果たして一緒に目を覚まそうなんて思ったかしら。
Well...
どうしてあなたは先輩にとって辛いことばかり言うんですか？同じことをしようとしてるからよ。嘘なんてつけない。トールが相手だからこそ私はきっちんと言うつもりよ。
With Maia hovering around in close proximity to her, Yayoi walked towards me.
私はトールと一緒にいたい。だから夢を終わらせない。ここなら私もトールも一緒にいられるもの。
So if I'm understanding their explanation correctly, which I don't think it should be that hard to understand, You gain the power to wake up from a dream after accepting it when you no longer want to wake up. Interesting. Kind of like, you know, you're not going to have the ability to wake up, and once you finally broke down and accepted it, then you can have the option. Because you don't want it anymore. Yayoi.
それは正しいんですか？
Hirosaka didn't sound
あら
confident.
結構いつもみたいに偉そうに間違ってるなんて言わないのね。
That does sound like something Keiko would say.
見くびらないでください。先輩と一緒にいたいなんて言われて、それが本気なら邪魔なんてできるわけないじゃないですか。あなたも恋する女の子の味方だったの？どの面を下げて間違ってるから先輩と別れろ、勝手にイギリスにでも行けばいいなんて言えるんですか？
Felt more real when Hirosaka said it. Hey, so you absolutely have to go to the UK?
男目当てに日本に残る、そう私が家族に言う意味がトールにはわかるんじゃないかしら。
Maia giggled like always. Hirosaka didn't ask even though she didn't know.
せめて独り立ちした後ならね。けどまだだね。私は学生であの人たちの子供だわ。
I just know from like my perspective, and you know, I understand this is a cultural thing. Like I put like my own like sense of happiness over what I guess my parents would want for me. And you know, that might be a selfish thing, but at the same time I feel like every adult needs to go through that at some point, especially, you know, they're probably at the age where they can start making their own decisions. I don't really think you have to do everything in life to please your parents. Now, I think you should respect your parents always, right? But at the same time, that doesn't mean every decision you make needs to benefit them or needs to be what they think would benefit you. Sometimes you need to make your own decisions and make your own path in life, right? Because, I mean, that's how you grow, that's how you learn. You're going to make some mistakes, of course. And you're going to make some decisions that ultimately probably will leave you much happier than if you would have done some other ones, right? Like, if you would have followed exactly what your parents wanted you to do, maybe you would have been well off. Absolutely. I don't think your parents would want you to go on a path that isn't going to benefit you in any way. But at the same time, it's like, if you like to go, I don't know, if you want to like travel the world, I mean, and your parents want you just to stay in the same place forever, I mean, go travel the world. Maybe you'll have some bad experiences, but at the same time, you're going to learn and grow from that, and you're going to enjoy it because that's what you wanted to do. That's what you're interested in. But clearly, her family situation is a little bit different, but I just think if she wants to be able to stay in Japan, if she can make that work, like, legally, right, and she can provide for herself, I don't see why her parents should have a decision in that. Yayoi smiled a terribly sad smile.
今までそうやってずっと言うことを聞いてきたいい子だった。そうしなければならなかった。
And yeah, there's more to that backstory that I'd like to learn about. All of a sudden, Maia was giggling from a short ways away. Red roses were blooming around her. Yayoi walked towards her. Wait, Yayoi, there's no way that's right. Dreams are just dreams.
それでも私はトールと別れるのは嫌だわ。たとえ気持ちが通じ合っていてもね。離れ離れになるくらいで諦めるんですか？諦める？諦めないためにこうしてるんじゃない。それにきっと国が違っても私はトールのことを好きでいられるわ。初めてきちんと好きだって思えた相手ですもの。
Yayoi.
だからこそ離れているのは辛いわ。二人とも私にそれを我慢しろって言うの。
It's very interesting. I feel like this is almost a very childish perspective. And let me know if you guys agree with me. I feel like this is a very childish perspective in the sense that this is your first love. You haven't had a lot of experience dating and getting to know what you want. And I've had experiences where, you know, I've gone out with girls before, and And looking back, I would have never wanted to end up with them. The first girl I fell in love with, no, wouldn't have worked out. The second girl, maybe, right? Like the third girl, but like I had to go through quite a few. I don't want to say like heartbreaks, but I had to like fall in love with a few different girls until I kind of uh, found the one that I really thought like fit well together with. Like the first few didn't work out. And, I've gone out with different girls. I've liked a lot of girls too, and looking back, there's a lot of reasons why none of those would have worked. So I find it hard to say that the first person you fall in love with it will be the one you ultimately want to end up being with. It's easy to think that at the time, but you ultimately, when you're this young, you change a lot as a person. So I almost think it's better to wait sometimes and get experience, really really meet different people and put yourself out there. Find someone you're really truly comfortable with and someone that you can see yourself growing with, not somebody that you like just as they are right now, but someone that you can hopefully become a better person with over time. And I just don't think a lot of first loves, or especially ones that you like fall in love with in high school, work out. I think some of them do. I just don't think a lot of them do. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Yayoi chuckled, trying to act tough.
それに不安だわ。私がいない間にサキちゃんやケイコにトールが襲われないかって。見くびらないでください。そんな泥棒猫みたいな真似するわけがないでしょ。ま、今のは冗談だとしてもね。やっぱり会えなくなるのは辛いわ。
So I understand why she's doing this. I understand where her perspective's coming from and her motivation for doing so. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad one. I don't think it's an evil one. I just think it is mostly, as I said before, a little bit of a childish one. She's kind of running away from her problem, right? Instead of being an adult, instead of growing and having experiences that kind of test and challenge your relationship, she's avoiding that. Now, I think a lot of people would do that. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about somebody who would make that decision, because, most people would never have this decision, right? It's not like you can just live in a dream world. But I don't think I would blame most people for making this decision. I just think it's a matter of running away from your problem. I think my other thing I don't like about this motivation is that it's inconveniencing everybody else. Everybody else is trapped in this dream, having these weird things happen to them. If they got to wake up and it was just these two, that's one thing. But this is literally putting everybody else inside the dream as well, and everybody else kind of has to just go along with it. And I think the person that it's most unfair to most of all is Toru. He doesn't really have a say in this. He's just kind of being forced to. And as like, of course he's fallen in love with Yayoi, and he probably feels the same way she does. But he wasn't given a say. And I think that he's being kind of forced to be in love with her, whether he wants to or not. This is her dream, and she controls it, in a sense. And Maia's kind of manipulating behind the scenes, which I think in a way is kind of triggering to him. I mean, I think seeing Maia is a trigger, right? Like, obviously something happened there in the past, and he's just being kind of forced to live with this. I think this is just, at least if I was in his in his shoes, I would think that's very overwhelming, and I'm running out of breath. I don't know how I would feel about that. I think, honestly, this is most unfair to Toru, and especially the rest of the girls. Couldn't stop her from walking towards Maia. Yayoi, it would be painful for me, too.
そうよね。そう言ってくれると気が楽だわ。
But this still isn't right.
俺がそういうのも分かってた。だから、これからすることは私のわがままだもの。
I do wonder if she's gonna kind of erase his memories of anything, and just kind of like what Maia did before, and just kind of make it seem like this nice, sweet dream, She smiled and took Maia's hand.
世界は無条件で誰に対しても優しいわけじゃないものね。私はこんな風にだってなるし、お兄ちゃんとサキちゃんもいろいろ失った。ケイコだって 決して幸せだとは思っていないでしょ。それは分かっているんでしょ。夢の世界では無条件に優しくなれる。だって自分の望みを自分で叶えられるんだもの。
Whenever Maya gets like this, it's very devilish. It's very much like, oh yeah, you can have the fantasy world where you can have whatever you want and you can grant your wishes and you can have it all. And I feel like at some point, having it all is just going to seem really boring. It's going to seem really mundane. Like, you're not going to be happy having everything you want forever. I think, kind of how humans work is we have a lot of, like, pain. We have a lot of boredom, a lot of downtime. And that makes the things in life, when something exciting does happen, all the more exciting. I think, you can't have highs without having lows. You got to have a balance. If you don't have the lows, everything's just going to feel the same. You're not going to have that high from it. She put her arm around Yayoi's neck and brought her mouth close to her ear.
今まで冷たくされた世界なんて気にしなくていい。ただこの世界を肯定するだけでいいの。そうね。ここでなら思うがままでいられるし、何でもできる。
Yayoi.
正直優しい人も冷たい人も結局最後にはどうでもいいと思ってた。
This is really going to be a test for Toru. If Toru doesn't stand up for himself, he doesn't stand up for the rest of the girls, and if he doesn't stand up for especially Yayoi here, I feel like he's just going to have to suffer with the consequences. And those consequences might be rather permanent. But he needs to stand up and be a man and say, hey, I know things are hard in life, but I'm willing to work them out with you. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to comfort you. No matter how far apart we are, he needs to say something like that. Like he needs to be assertive.
それは先輩もですか？ええ、そうよ。最後は自分一人だわ。他の相手なんていつかいなくなる。そう思ってた。ケイコ、あなただって同じでしょ？
Hirosaka didn't deny it, but instead she gave Yayoi a frustrated look.
今は違う。少なくともトールだけは話したくない。そう思える自分にも驚くわ。けれどこのままじゃお兄ちゃんとルーティは離れ離れ。愛がなければ辛い距離だし、愛があっても会えないことは辛いわ。わがままを言えば周りを困らせる。どうする？そうしてまで貫きたいの？それとも周りに従ってお兄ちゃんを逃がすのかしら。
Stop it, Maya.
あら、どうして？これはお兄ちゃんも思っていることでしょ？
Even if I am, I still don't think running away to the world of dreams is a good thing.
そう？うん。確かにトールはそう言うかも。それはいいわ。ほら、トールだって最初に私とキスした時は強引で不意打ちだったじゃない？
Even in this situation, Hirosaka gave me a sidelong glance.
だから私がトールを手に入れるためにちょっと強引だったりしてもいいかなって思うのよ。それでいいんですか？周りに振り回されたくないって言ってるくせに、また先輩を困らせて、その妹の甘い言葉に乗って、そうやって楽な方に楽な方に逃げるつもりなんですか？はっぱ、結構言うわね。けどそれはちょっと間違いよ。何が違うって言うんですか？現に今こうして。私はこの子に振り回されるつもりはないって言ってるの。
Yayoi snapped her fingers. The roses spreading throughout the room immediately surrounded and captured Maya. Maya raised her voice. She clearly wasn't expecting this. Then vines and stems wrapped themselves around her arms and legs, making it hard for her to move.
甘い言葉に乗るし、楽な方を選びたいとも思うわ。だけどもう振り回されるつもりはないわ。選ぶのも主導権を握るのも私。今までみたいに裏でコソコソされるのは我慢できないのよね。
Yayoi smiled with her usual smile and brushed Maya's cheek with her hand. Maybe she wouldn't accept Maya. If she did, there would be no more problems. She was certainly capable of it, but I didn't think there was any chance that would happen. Hirosaka must have felt the same way because the atmosphere felt even more tense than before. Yayoi, are you serious?
本気よ、最初から。何をするつもりなんですか？あら、分かってるくせに聞くの？
Raised Maya's chin with a
自
finger.
分のしようとしてること分かってるのよね。当然じゃない。できると思ってる？できるわ。だってこれまだ私の夢でしょ？
Yayoi said confidently. She knew what lucid dreams were and how to alter them. That was why she was so confident. As long as you had the confidence to believe in the dream, you could alter it. And she was certain that she could.
なるほどなるほど。これはこれで面白いかも。たまには私が手を離してみるのもいいかもしれないわね。
Maya faced Yayoi. She said this as she looked at me out of the corner of her eye and giggled.
そこまで言うってことは構わないってことよね。ええ。だけどその後どうなっても私の責任じゃないわよ。言ったでしょ？主導権は私が握るって。それで人に責任を押し付けるような真似はしないわ。
Are you seriously taking control of the dream?
全部本気よ。
It was reckless, but Maya had gone and done the same thing up until now, and I had the feeling Yayoi might be able to do it. I had to stop her. But if I didn't stop her, we could be together. My legs wouldn't move.
さっきから何をバカなことを言ってるんですか？じゃあ、稽古は私とトールが離れ離れになるのを望むのね。
Hirosaka was unable to stop her as well.
こう見えて楽じゃないのよ、これ。仮想人格だか年下だかわからないけど、そんな子にできて私にできないと思われるのは尺に触るわ。
Well, damn. Then Yayoi kissed. What? wait, what? Yayoi kissed Maya. The room, no, the whole world shuddered. The irregular shaking caused Hirosaka and me to fall to our knees. I wanted to say something, but I couldn't find the words. Did I want to stop her or not? Wait, ew, my guy! You're watching her kiss your sister? And you're just like, do I want to stop them? Hey, yo? I had a wish, and even though I knew this was wrong, I couldn't think of any other way to do it. Like a gentle dream was being shown right before my eyes. Holy shit, what was that? The feeling of Maya's presence rapidly faded. Even though she was there, she felt as fake as though she were a painting. What the fuck? Oh my gosh, what is going on? This CG goes hard. What? Okay, like this is crazy. What is this? What? Is she supposed to be the freaking the Queen of Hearts? Said the overly sweet, roasted honey smell now came from Yayoi, and then as soon as Yayoi removed her mouth from Maya's and brushed away her hair, she changed. If she had been a rabbit before, now her clothes made her look as regal as a queen. Yayoi? Maya closed her eyes and almost collapsed, but Yayoi supported her. Yayoi snapped her fingers and the pastry on the table changed color. The shortcake became chocolate cake and the muffins turned red. She snapped her fingers again, and this time nothing seemed to happen, but... What? What? Why would you do this? Hirosaka, your clothes have changed too. My breast ballooned up under my shirt and my pants started to sag around my waist, but as myself, I knew I couldn't love Yayoi as a woman. I snapped my fingers and hopped in the air. When I landed, I completely returned to my normal self. Hirosaka was still in her dress, apparently unable to return to normal. I've had more experience dealing with dreams than you have. Lately, Yayoi had gotten to where she could alter dreams on a greater scale than I could. When it came to myself and smaller details, I was still more skilled. Seemingly having get up and changing her dress back, Hirosaka approached Yayoi, messing up her hem in the process. Holding the sleeping Maia in her arms, Yayoi walked away, her heels clacking with each step. Hirosaka approached her and reached out her hand, but as though Yayoi were an illusion, she couldn't touch her. Sense of distance was off, too, despite the fact it was a small room. Yayoi looked like she was far, far away from us. Hirosaka ran through Yayoi and ended up on the opposite side of her. I'm just like, oh, this was a little bit of a plot twist. I don't know if she's supposed to be the Queen of Hearts. That's just kind of what I imagined, because that's one of the probably the few characters we're missing here. And then her eyes like turned red. That was a little scary looking. Honestly, I'm still hesitating. I freaking this CG, and I really liked it with the red background. That went hard. Like, that was one of the cooler CGs in the game. I don't know if Yayoi is really wrong or not. Hirosaka was at a loss for words. Gosh, I actually feel bad for freaking Maia right now. I told you to stop now, would you? I thought he couldn't wake up from it doing that, though. I'm not sure if Toru can reject it, because I think part of him wants this. Means in April you'll be in the UK. I can tell Yayoi was deceiving herself too. She had to be hesitating. She didn't really think this was right. But I didn't know whether this was right or not either. Still holding Maia in her arms, Yayoi walked through the doors to the room, which were open all of a sudden. Do I just chase after you if I want to stop you? If I decide to stop you, I'll go as soon as I can. Right now, I don't know. I can't stop you. I didn't have the heart to do that to her. Yayoi gave me a resigned smile. I probably had a similar expression on my face. I don't know, maybe I'll desperately try to stop you. Interesting. So you're okay with him stopping the dream as long as he has the resolve to do so. That seems to be his whole problem. He doesn't have the resolve to do anything. He has to think about it. And it should be just an obvious choice for him. But he's like, I don't know. Not sure if that's what I want to do. With that, Yayoi flew through the doors, and the two figures disappeared in the darkness on the other side. Hirosaka snapped, grabbing onto my collar. I don't know either, but I do think it'd be best to stop her, but I feel like if I stop her, then I might wish I hadn't. I don't know what kind of face I was making. But then when she saw my expression, Hirosaka grit her teeth and let go of me. Thanks. The doors were still open, revealing the darkness the two had disappeared into, but I didn't know what was going on beyond that. You've already reached an answer, haven't you? No. All I could do was sigh. Well, I don't know how I'm going to reach an answer, so I'm going to go take a look. I don't think I would be able to reach an answer feeling as wishy-washy as I did now. I still haven't seen what kind of dream it is that Yayoi wishes for. If I didn't know what kind of dream it was, I couldn't completely reject it. I couldn't do anything unless I seriously believed she was wrong. If anything happens to me, I'm counting on you, Hirosaka. I knew I shouldn't, but I turned my back to Hirosaka, waved, and jumped through the doors. Wow, badass. Okay. I just wish he would make up his mind before things went to shit instead of after, you know? The alarm clock next to my bed was going off. I reached out and stopped it at the same time my hand touched something cold. It was my glasses. Why? Ever since that weird dream started, I hadn't worn my glasses. They weren't supposed to be here either. I looked next to me, but Saki wasn't there. It was normal for me to wake up alone, but it still felt slightly lonely. Perhaps because I was still groggy, it took me a while to notice. What is this? My half-asleep brain woke up in an instant. Those dream plants that had been in my apartment this whole time were completely gone. It can't be. I opened the curtains and looked out the window. Outside, there were no strangely colored plants, no sickeningly sweet smell, nor the scent of the forest. It was just a cold winter morning air and the sun. The town streets were completely normal and gray. Is this the happy dream Yayoi we wished for? Turned the TV on. It was the usual morning news. There was nothing about Santa Claus visiting or General Winter on the march of his army. There wasn't much on politics, just the normal stuff about celebrities and the like. What's going on? They stood there dumbfounded. The doorbell rang loudly several times. Jeff was surprised as the door started to rattle. Saki unlocked the door and came without permission, as always. Saki, I've told you not to just let yourself in. I mean, yeah, that is true. That's true. Yayoi and Alice made their own duplicate keys, and Hirosaka rarely borrowed Saki's key. It was a free-for-all at this point. But even so... I absolutely don't think we've woken up, or at least we haven't seen the last of this. There's just no way. When I gave Saki an unconvinced look, she looked around the room and found my glasses. Oh yeah. I bent down a little and Saki put my glasses on me. I felt the cold frame and the softness of Saki's fingers. This is definitely the feeling of reality that I knew. Hey Saki, though I doubt it, are we really awake? Where the frick did you come from? Hirosaka must have come with Saki because she spoke up from the entrance. Isn't this it? In response to your Asaka knitted her brows. I mean, this is where I came when I went through those doors. Saki seemed to be the only one who didn't understand what was going on, so she listened quietly. Normally going through those doors leads to another dream, right? That's how I felt when I woke up. But Hirosaka and Saki looked at each other in response to my words. I told you to take care of things. I kind of think the reason all the girls get involved in the dreams, regardless of maybe whether the dreamer wants them to be there or not, is just because they're all so important to him. We kind of went over this before. Like he loves all of them, but he's not willing to move past Maia to make a move on them. And you know, clearly, like he kind of does, but I think at the same time he still cares about Maia, and I think he still cares about the rest of the girls. So it's kind of hard for him to let go. He kind of distracts them, I guess, into any of the dreams he's in. This time, Hirosaka and I looked at each other. Saki, are you real? You're not a fake created by Yayoi, are you? I'd rather you not. I'll believe if it's something Maia doesn't know either. Saki gave me a condescending look. Stop, alright, I believe you. You don't have to say anymore. I hurriedly shut Saki up. I couldn't let Hirosaka hear the rest of it. What? She didn't even finish what she was saying. This is when we were kids. If it hadn't come from my memories, then this Saki had to be the real one. Saki hadn't been there last night, so she couldn't follow the conversation. Being left out made her grumpy. I'll tell you what we eat. Hirosaka, I'm gonna go change. She could go buy something. When I looked at the clock, I saw we had still had plenty of time. When I went to hand her my wallet... I'd gotten careless as I regretted it. Yeah. As I regretted it, I said. Both of you leave for a bit. I'm gonna go get ready for school. The Hirosaka looked at me coldly as Saki giggled. It really made it feel like a normal everyday life had returned. I don't think normal everyday life has returned. Nope, but don't see it happening. Luck and I usually had food from the convenience store for breakfast. Sometimes Hirosaka would take pity on us and make miso soup, but regardless, we ate. As we did so, we explained to Saki what had happened last night.
ここが弥生先輩の理想の夢？このいかにもいつも通りで平穏なのがですか？なんだかそうは思えないんですけど。
She can get carried away when she gets going, but she's actually quite lazy. If we're talking about likes and dislikes, she prefers it to be more peaceful like this.
そうなんですか？むしろ先輩の方がこういう落ち着いた夢を好みそうですけど。兄さんだったらもっと手も出さないくせに可愛い女の子をたくさんはべらせたいとか望みそうだけど。
The last little part got me, even though he wouldn't make a move on them.
それはある意味叶っているような。
I think that already might have come true. Hirosaka remembered to herself, and I tried not to notice.
兄さんには本当に言いたいことが山ほどあるんだけど。
I like how they're like so self-aware of his character. It's actually kind of scary, just a little bit. Lucky looked at me sharply as she walked next
そ
to
れ
me.
よりも今私たちが本当に起きてるのか、それとも弥生先輩の作った夢なのか、それを判断する方が先かしら。
Even as we walked, this didn't feel like a dream at all. There was nothing strange going on. Once we went to school, everything would be normal. It felt like that sort of world. What's wrong, Hirosaka? Hirosaka had kind of a weary look on her
もしも
face.
ここが夢だったとしたらと思って。そうだとしたら私たちは現実に戻った時もここが本当の現実なのか不安に思って生きることになるんでしょうか。
I couldn't say. Yeah, that's the thing. If the dream becomes so realistic that you can't tell the difference, you know, is there a difference? Because even before all this started, there was times when I didn't know if the reality I saw was the real thing or if I was in a dream. Sometimes I wonder if it was just a continuation of a dream. I can tell you one thing though. You want to know how you know if you're in a dream or not? If you got it good. If your life sucks at all and you're like, dang, I hate this shit, you're not in a dream. Because why would it suck then if you're in a dream and you're creating it yourself, huh? Got you there.
あんまり心配しすぎると兄さんみたいになるわよ。
Hold on, Saki. You speak as if that were a bad
あ、
thing.
確かにそれは困りますね。
Even you,
まさ
Hirosaka.
か兄さん自分が困った人間だって自覚なかったの？
Of course I knew, but what does that have to do with it? There was no way I could deny it when asked like that. I felt like I'd been tricked into admitting it. We headed off to school along streets that looked as real as reality could get. No matter how real it looked, it had to be a dream. I mean, I think it's a dream. Because, I mean, we just had all that stuff going on. This can't be reality. Morning, parted from the other two near the school gate and headed to my classroom. Felt so normal it actually made it feel strange.
トールくん、おはよう。
よ
Hey? Asahi looked more troubled than usual and Tetsuya's expression was grim. Class also seemed cold, kind of cold towards them. Did something happen? Sat at my desk inside. I didn't see any dream flowers or any signs this was a dream. The sky was clear and downright pleasant looking.
なあトール休み時間ちょっといいか
Oh gosh, please don't be a vampire. Looking angry, or rather like he didn't know what he should do, Tetsuya spoke to me. Sure, something wrong?
その様子だとお前もしかして知らないのか
I never know anything. Those words, along with how Tetsuya and Asahi were acting, made me come to a realization. You mean about how Yayoi senpai and her family are moved to the UK?
お前なんでそれ知ってて落ち着いてるんだよ
You need to calm down. Panicking won't do any good. I scolded Tetsuya, who stood up from his chair. He hesitantly sat back down.
お前そういうところあるよな
I don't know. I mean, it's entirely possible. I'm just very skeptical because I don't think that she would have done that, but she could have just woke them all up. She could have just took control, woke them all up, and, you know, told them that they were going to the UK. Or, you know, told Asi to tell Tetsuya, and maybe she's going to tell Toru. I don't know. Well, due to personal reasons, I don't have the energy to make a pointless fuss. I was often too tired for my dreams to do so, so could it be helped if he saw me that way? In this case, I had already known about it and was still processing it in my mind. It was really just a matter of time for me to accept it. When did you even hear about that? Did Aussie tell you?
それは
I think it's a dream, though. I think it's a dream, maybe to convince Toru that this is a bad decision. To, you know, have her go to the UK and things like that, and, you know, how sad it's going to be. And then it's going to make him want to be in the dream world, where, you know, that doesn't have to happen. And then she's going to reveal, actually, you were in the dream the whole time. Oh, you want to be here? Great. Well, you're already here. It's going to be something like that. I can make a guess based on the cold atmosphere of the class as well as Aussie's gloomy demeanor. Tetsuya may have done something after he heard the news. Tetsuya looked regretful. Maybe he knew he had messed up too. You were dumped because of that, weren't you? I chuckled with an evil grin on my face. I wasn't doing it to be mean. After all, you're a petty person. I wonder what you said after you flew into a panic.
トールてめえ
Tetsuya grabbed me by the collar of my shirt, but his face turned red. Did you say something to make her dump you? Did you mean it? I'm sure you didn't. You don't want things to continue awkwardly, do you? Do something about it. I was being overly haughty. It's easy to say this sort of thing when it wasn't about you. I thought Tetsuya might hit me, but...
お前の言う通りだよくそみっともね
He let go of me and turned to face
朝
Aussie.
日後で話がある頼むから時間作ってくれ
Asahi nodded, looking a little happy. Oh good, it went okay. My heart was still pounding as I sat down. But what about me? I murmured. I don't know, what about you? Lunch break was as noisy as ever. Tetsuya and Asahi went off somewhere with serious looks on their faces. Well then, what should I do? I'd gone to Yayoi's classroom, but she wasn't there. There were hardly any classes for the third semester for third years, especially during January when there were exams, so there weren't many people here. So it wasn't strange that Yayoi wasn't around. I definitely think he should have asked Asahi about it, though. Asked her if she was here, or what was going on with her. I wanted to talk to her, but I didn't even know if the Yayoi here was a real thing. How lame am I, saying all of that to Tetsuya?
本当に人に言うのは楽なんだけどね
I don't want to get scolded by you, Alice, okay? Alice nodded next to me matter-of-factly. Hey, what are you doing here? Alice was leaning in from the window even though the floor wasn't ground level.
何ってご飯食べに来たんだけど
Okay, that's how I know we're in a dream, because Alice is here. We have to be in a dream. Where the frick would Alice have come from? Then casually, before climbing through the window in the hallway. She was wearing her usual clothes, and the people around us were staring. Of course they were. Alice was the only one here not wearing a uniform.
ちゃんとスリッパも借りてきたから大丈夫よ
Ah, you borrowed some slippers. The wabaki. Changed into the slippers and picked up her shoes. That's not the issue.
ちょっとオールが騒ぐから目立っちゃってるじゃない
It's my fault. But we really were attracting attention. I had the feeling that rumors were starting to brood on people's minds. I'll ask you one more time. Why are you here? If you came to eat, then just go to the usual place. Quite a ways away from here to the preparation room, so why was she
そ
here?
れなんだけど私トールを探しに来たの
Then please don't do anything to make yourself stand out. Put my hands on Alice's shoulders to keep her from falling. If my knees gave way anymore, my face would probably end up in her breast. Hey, yo! Why are you just casually imagining that, huh? Alice smelled differently than she did in dreams. She smelled like clean sheets. It was a poignant scent that I'd smelled once
ちょ
before.
っとくっつかないでよこんなとこ弥生が見たら怒るよ
I was looking for Yayoi. She wasn't in class.
どうしてそんな普段行かないところ探してるの
Why did Alice have an exasperated look on her
準備
face?
室でみんな待ってるよ
Eh?
いやそれでトールが来ないと食べれないってさきちゃんが言うから探しに来たんだけど
Alice's stomach rumbled more importantly. Wait, Yayoi's
来
here.
てるよなんかさきちゃんとケイコが渋い顔してたけど私のいない間に何がどうなってるの
Before Alice even finished speaking, I took off running towards the science preparation
あ
room.
これちょっとせっかく探しに来てあげたのに逃げるんじゃない
If I left Alice here, she'd probably either come to the preparation room or be found by a teacher and get thrown out. Ignoring her protest from behind me, I headed for the preparation room. Oh boy, we gotta see what's going on here. I'm really curious. When I opened the door to the preparation room, the usual smell of chemicals and coffee met my nose. Warm air also spilled out from that room.
トール、寒いから早く閉めて。
Okay, this is normal, except for the fact that Alice is here. That's not. Yayoi was sitting in her usual spot like it was to be expected. Next to her, Saki and Hirosaka were making sour faces. I was probably making a strange face too.
何よもう、みんなしてそんな顔して。私はここにいたらいけないって言うの？
It's just, why are you here after saying all of that?
いるわよ。だって稽古の言う通り、目を覚まさせたんだもの。
Yayoi blew in her coffee to cool it
目
off.
をということは、ここはやっぱりもう夢の中じゃないんですか？そうよ。こっちで話しておいた方がいいかなと思って。
I wonder, though, if she has the power to put us back in a dream. Just then I heard someone's running steps coming from behind. Alice pushed me aside and locked the door, breathing heavily.
ひどいじゃない。置いてくなんて。しかも、なんか先生につまみ出されそうになったし。
I don't know, though. I still am suspicious. I don't know if we really woke up, because why is Alice here?
それは、そんな格好で勝手に上がり込んでくるアリスが悪いんじゃないかしら。
We have not seen Alice ever. If I still understand how Alice could be here if it's not a dream.
私にお昼ご飯を食べるなって言うの？
You could at least be a little sneakier about it.
言っておくけど、一応兄さんを探しに行くっていうのは止めたのよ。
I figured as much. When Alice started doing something on her own, no one could stop her without using quite a lot of force. I don't care about the thing with Alice anymore. The problem now is the person right here. Or right there, isn't it?
自分の彼女をそういう風に呼ぶのはどうかと思わない？自分が同じ立場になったらって想像してから言ってもらえますか？
In this case, I agreed with Hirosaka completely. I took a deep breath to calm down. So what did you want to talk about?
私がやろうとしてることを説明しておかないとならないでしょ？
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, he wasn't acting any different from normal in the slightest. I don't know how I should act in return.
とりあえず食べながら聞けば？お腹空いてると兄さんってばろくなこと考えないから。
You're not you when you're hungry. That's true. With us suddenly returning to reality and Yayoi appearing like this, there's a ton of things I wanted to say, but I hadn't gotten them arranged in my mind yet.
それで何がどうなってるの？
Alice asked as she quickly reached for one of the bento box tiers. Oh yeah, you haven't been around, huh? It was rare for her not to appear, even though that sort of thing was happening with Maia and Yayoi. But Alice just tilted her head, her mouth full of inari sushi. She didn't seem to understand.
まあ、アリスへの説明は誰かに任せるとして。
Said Alice, absorbed in eating lunch. She seemed pretty desperate. Maybe she was hungrier than
とり
usual.
あえず、夢の方が思ったよりうまくいかないのよ。マヤってば、よくあんなことができたと思うわ。
Fucking Alice reacted to those words. What is Maya doing
こ
now?
っちに出てきた時はまだ寝てたわ。夢の中で寝てるっていうのも変な話だけど。
Thought maybe Maya disappeared after her power was stolen by Yayoi, but it seemed she was still around. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or not.
それであの子、先輩の妹の力を自分のものにして、一体どんな夢を作るって言うんですか？幸せな、望むままにやり直せる夢かしら。
What do you mean?
本当はもうみんな幸せになれる感じの夢にしたかったんだけど、そんなあやふやな望みなんて形にしづらいじゃない？
Yeah, because what does it mean to be happy?
だから方向性を持たせたの。もしもあの時やり直せたらとか、そういうことって思わない？
That was something I had wished for ever since that incident.
なんでやり直しなんですか？
Lucky asked about looking at
もっと
Yayoi.
意味もなく幸せを感じるようにでもしちゃえばいいじゃないですか。
Because that's not convincing, that's not reality.
それはできないのよ。何せもともとのその夢を改ざんする力の方向性がやり直しなんだもの。
Based on redoing things.
もう少しわかりやすく説明できないんですか？
Yayoi thought for a moment before looking
マ
at
イ
me.
ヤ自身が今までやってきたことが全部やり直せたらって夢だったでしょ？あの子、基本的にそういう形でしか夢をいじれないみたいで、その分を私は借りただけだもの。だから、やり直すしかできないの。
could only redo things? Is it because Yayoi doesn't know what about in their past, what they would want to redo? Is that because I wanted to redo something? Is that because I wanted to redo something all this time? Seemed perfectly possible considering the relationship between me and Maya. Maya herself was my desire to redo things taken form.
きっとそうね。
Yayoi nodded like she was just informing us of the facts.
今、私たちは同じ夢を見ることができるけれど、
Saki still wasn't looking at Yayoi like she was trying not to think of
も
Maya.
しも先輩の言う通りにやり直した場合はどうなるんですか？みんなが納得するまで、折り合いがつくまで何度も繰り返すんですか？例えば、私がやり直して、兄さんを弥生先輩から奪ったとする。その場合、どうなるんですか？きっと、そうすると私とサキちゃんは違う夢を見ることになると思う。同じ夢を見続けるわけじゃなくなるんですか？
It was strange for us to be sharing dreams in the first place. Dreams were things people had alone. That dream would just become what each individual person wished for. Compared to our present situation, that almost seemed to have solved things, but it could actually turn into something terrible. It's the kind of if it's that kind of dream it is. If that's the kind of dream it is, then no one will be able to wake up from it. Just like me in the past, it was likely we wouldn't be able to escape.
ええ、そうなるかもしれないわね。そんなの、誰も望んでない。何を勝手なことをしようとしてるんですか？望んでいないなら目を覚ませばいいわ。夢そのものに人を完全に捕まえることなんてできないんだから。
Yayoi sounded almost like Maya as she said
誰
this.
も望んでなくてもいい。みんなが現実がいいって言うなら、その場合は私は一人で幸せな夢に逃げることにするわ。
Yayoi gave us a tired smile. That's...
その弥生の望む夢はいつできるの？
Alice asked quietly. She had been listening to us talk as she ate.
難しいけど、昨日一晩いろいろやってみたときになんとなく分かってきたし、こっちで何日もすればできるかしら。その夢は弥生だけが見ることはできないの？どうして周りを巻き込まないといけないのかな？
Very interesting how Alice can be so childish, and I've said this many times before. But at the same time, she has very, interesting thoughts like this. Like, this is pretty much what I was saying. I think it's selfish to get everybody else involved. Alice's voice was icy.
それ、あなたに説明しないとなんないかしら。それ、どういう意味？
Alice's attitude was as hostile as when she dealt with Maya. Yayoi gave a small, resigned sigh.
私だって好きでみんなを巻き込もうと思ってるわけじゃないの。だけど、どうしたって元になる夢はみんなで一緒に見ていた夢だわ。私にできるのはその夢に脚本を付け加えるだけ。マイヤのやってた不便さがやっと分かってきたわ。結局大元のルールは変えられないの。
It's interesting to think of dreams having rules.
だから私が望むままに夢を自分の都合のいいように変えていく。ただやっぱりね、トールとかアリスがいるとうまく私だけの思い通りにできないのよ。だからちょっとだけ目を覚ましてもらったわ。
But we're actually awake?
何を自分勝手な。自分勝手は重々承知よ。
I don't know. I think there's still more to this story, though. Hirosako looked like she was going to let herself be convinced as she grit her teeth. Saki gave the one who had hurt me an icy look. Alice quietly had the same expression on her face as when we first
先
met.
輩、自分のやってることが正しいって思ってますか？私にとっては正しいわ。みんな好きにすればいいじゃない。夢が気に入らなければ目を覚ませばいい。捕まえようなんて思ってないから。
If I understand this correctly, she's saying that we are awake right now, but in the dream world, she's going to change the original dream that all of us are a part of, and she's going to make it what she wants. But nobody is necessarily trapped in there, even though when they go to sleep, they'll probably wake up there, they can wake themselves up. But there are those of us who are weak. I hadn't intended to say anything until the conversation was
だとし
over.
たら弱いのに強く生きないとダメなのかしら。
I don't know if I believe that we're actually awake, because Alice has never been in reality before. It's always been a dream. even if it looks like it's reality. So I don't know if I believe they were awake. Even though she was the one who's gonna alter the dream however she wanted, and maybe it's precisely because of that fact.
私は弱いのよ。だからこれから夢に逃げる。それを本物にしてやるの。
If your desired dream and mine were the same, then would we be able to remain together even though the dream just
兄
repeats?
さん？ええ、きっと。今まで一緒に夢を見ていたみたいに、そばにいられるはずよ。
Yeah, she's implying we're still in a dream. We desire the same thing that sounded terribly vague and dreamlike.
止めたいなら本気で止めてちょうだい。私はこれから本気で夢に負けるつもりだから。ここで無理やり捕まえてくれてもいい。夢の中で私が作ろうとしてる夢を壊してくれてもいいわ。トールとアリスが本気で壊そうとしたら、きっと私一人じゃそんな夢は保てないもの。そう。今までトールがやってたみたいに、弥生の夢を壊せばいいんだ。ええ、できるなら。
Then Alice gave Yayoi the exact same look she used to give
わか
Maia.
った。弥生はこれからマイヤの代わりに私の敵になるんだ。アリスの立場で言うと、そうね。だけど、本当にそんなことを言っていいの？なんで？私は今までそうしてきた。これからもそうやって夢の中で好き勝手する奴らを止めるつもり。そう。だけどアリス、あなた、本当にこの夢を終わらせていいの？どういう意味？
Alice couldn't end this
だって
dream.
この夢。
Before we could understand what those words meant, the bell signaling the end of lunch rang.
わからないならそれでいいわ。それじゃあみんな、私は放課後まではここにいるから、聞きたいことがあったら来てね。
Huh. Interesting. Yayoi made to drive us out of the preparation room.
ちょっと、まだ言いたいことは終わってません。だから、後で聞くってば。別に私は逃げないし、せっかく目を覚ましたんでしょ？授業、サボってもいいの？
I don't know. The way she says it sometimes, she talks about this like it's a dream. She could be talking about the dream she's creating, right? But she says it like we're in a dream right now. But then she also says we're in real life. So, you know, you don't want to, like, do anything that you wouldn't want to happen in real life. I'm very lost as to what's going on. I'm just very confused because Alice is here. Alice is the only person that makes me doubt this is reality. Let's go, everyone.
なんでよ。こんなままでいいの？
She says she won't run away. I'll talk to her later. Reality is more important for you guys than dreams, right? In that case, you need to actually go to class instead of playing alone with her crazy dream talk. Saki looked unconvinced, but she didn't want to say anything
ア
more.
リスはどうするの？授業とか受ける気全然なさそうだけど。弥生がその気なら、もう言うことはないわ。そんな夢にみんなを捕まえようとするのは許さないもの。
Also, Alice would remember things too if this was reality. Clearly, she would have had to known something more than she normally did, because she always talks about how she doesn't remember what she's doing when she's awake. I don't know, she's still talking like she's in a dream, so that's what's got me convinced that we are dreaming right now. And we already know there's layers to the dreams. We've kind of explored that concept already, with the fact that we were in that kind of dream world where there's just the flowers everywhere, and then we would go into like a deeper layer with like the vampires. You could say that's just like an altered reality. Like maybe it still was that same dream, but it was just altered. I don't know. Either way, there's different complexities. Alice started to leave before the rest of
だっ
us.
たら、どうするの？弥生の言う幸せな夢なんて、私が壊してあげる。そう。なら楽しみにしてるわ。
Yayoi waved, but Alice turned her back on her and walked
トール
away.
は後で来るの？
Yeah, there's something I want to ask you alone. Yayoi gave a resigned sigh.
それじゃあ後で。きちんと授業を受けるのよ。
Waving to us as she'd done with Alice, Yayoi sent us off to class. Saki and Hirosaka gave me unconvinced looks. If there's something you guys want to say, you should say it. I get the feeling what you guys are thinking and what I'm thinking are different.
兄さん、大丈夫なの？
Not answering, I lightly petted Saki's head and left to return to my classroom.
先輩！
I didn't answer. I couldn't say that I would be okay. What should I do? I knew what I wanted to do, but I lacked confidence. That's me in real life. I know a lot of things I want to do, but I lack the confidence to do so. gonna show the pathetic, how pathetic I look to those two. So I took off running. Interesting. There's a lot going on here, and I'm trying to really like digest it. It seems like there's a pretty big picture here, and I'm trying to see it all. Anyways, we were in the science preparation room in the evening. I think this would be a good place to stop. I think we're gonna stop here, really take some time to digest what we've learned, and then go into the next episode with an open mind. Let's say that, because it seems like there's more twists to come. I don't feel like we're anywhere close to the end. So I'll go ahead and stop here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.